When dealing with grounding a structure that has a gravel backfill foundation, several alternative installation methods can be considered. One option is to install 4/0 ground rods vertically within the gravel backfill at the recommended spacing, such as 200 feet on center. These ground rods are then connected to a 4/0 copper busbar or ground ring that runs around the perimeter of the structure. Another approach involves installing a continuous concrete conduit around the perimeter of the structure, positioning it below the top 2 feet of gravel backfill. A 4/0 copper cable is run inside this conduit, and it is connected to ground rods placed inside the conduit at the recommended spacing. Augered grounding wells offer a third possibility. Here, holes are augered to a depth below the gravel backfill, perhaps around 6 feet deep. Then 4/0 ground rods are installed in these holes and backfilled with a suitable grounding material such as conductive grout. These ground rods are connected to a 4/0 copper busbar or ground ring. Another alternative revolves around modifications to the foundation design itself. One option is to excavate a shallow trench around the perimeter of the foundation, again below the top 2 feet of gravel backfill. The 4/0 ground ring is installed in this trench, and then it is backfilled with a conductive material, like engineered fill or conductive gravel. Another foundation modification involves designing the foundation to include a grounding sleeve or channel that runs around its perimeter at the top. The 4/0 ground ring is then installed inside the sleeve and connected to the vertical grounding system. When selecting any of these grounding methods, it is crucial to ensure compliance with the requirements of the applicable electrical codes and standards. It's also important to consider how the gravel backfill might affect the corrosion resistance of the ground ring or ground rods. Finally, remember to thoroughly test the grounding system after installation to verify its integrity and proper operation. In more detail, let's explore some of these grounding solutions for structures with gravel backfill. The first alternative to consider is using vertical ground rods. This involves driving 4/0 ground rods vertically into the ground within the gravel backfill area. The spacing of these rods is critical and should adhere to recommended standards. A typical spacing might be 200 feet on center, but this can vary depending on soil resistivity and local code requirements. Once the ground rods are installed, they must be interconnected to form a continuous ground ring. This is typically achieved using a 4/0 copper busbar or a 4/0 copper conductor that encircles the entire structure. The connections between the ground rods and the busbar should be made using approved grounding connectors to ensure a low resistance connection. The advantage of this method is its relative simplicity and ease of installation. However, the effectiveness of this method depends heavily on the conductivity of the soil and the depth to which the ground rods are driven. Gravel, being a poor conductor, can reduce the effectiveness of the ground rods. The second alternative involves using a concrete conduit with a ground cable. This method provides a more robust and protected grounding pathway. A continuous concrete conduit is installed around the perimeter of the structure, ensuring it is positioned below the top 2 feet of the gravel backfill. This depth is chosen to avoid potential damage from surface activities and to provide a more stable environment for the grounding system. Inside the conduit, a 4/0 copper cable is run continuously. This cable serves as the main grounding conductor. Ground rods are then strategically located inside the conduit at regular intervals, adhering to the recommended spacing. These ground rods are connected to the 4/0 copper cable using appropriate grounding connectors. The concrete conduit offers physical protection to the copper cable, shielding it from mechanical damage and corrosion. It also provides a more consistent and reliable grounding pathway compared to directly burying the cable in gravel. The third alternative is augered grounding wells. This method is particularly useful when dealing with deep gravel backfill or when encountering soil conditions that make it difficult to drive ground rods. Auger holes are created to a depth that extends below the gravel backfill layer, typically around 6 feet or more. This depth ensures that the ground rods are in contact with the native soil, which is likely to have better conductivity than the gravel. A 4/0 ground rod is then installed in each augered hole. To enhance the effectiveness of the grounding system, the holes are backfilled with an appropriate grounding material, such as conductive grout. Conductive grout improves the contact between the ground rod and the surrounding soil, reducing resistance and enhancing the flow of fault current. The ground rods are then connected to a 4/0 copper busbar or ground ring, forming a continuous grounding loop around the structure. Moving on to modifications to the foundation design, the first option is to excavate a trench for the ground ring. This method involves creating a shallow trench around the perimeter of the foundation. The trench should be located below the top 2 feet of gravel backfill to ensure that the ground ring is not disturbed by surface activities. The 4/0 ground ring is then installed in the trench. To further enhance the grounding performance, the trench is backfilled with a conductive material such as engineered fill or conductive gravel. These materials are specifically designed to have low electrical resistance, which improves the effectiveness of the ground ring. The final option for foundation modification is to provide a grounding sleeve in the foundation. This involves incorporating a grounding sleeve or channel into the foundation design. This sleeve runs around the perimeter of the foundation, typically at the top of the foundation wall. The 4/0 ground ring is then installed inside the sleeve. This method provides excellent protection for the ground ring and ensures that it is securely integrated into the structure's foundation. The ground ring is then connected to the vertical grounding system, which may include additional ground rods or grounding electrodes. When considering these alternative grounding installations, it is crucial to keep several additional considerations in mind. Firstly, it is essential to ensure that the selected grounding method meets all the requirements of the applicable electrical codes and standards. These codes provide specific guidelines for grounding systems, including conductor size, electrode type, and installation methods. Secondly, the impact of the gravel backfill on the corrosion resistance of the ground ring or ground rods must be carefully considered. Gravel can promote corrosion due to its porous nature and potential to trap moisture and chemicals. To mitigate this risk, it may be necessary to use corrosion-resistant grounding materials, such as copper-clad steel ground rods or coated copper conductors. Thirdly, it is imperative to test the grounding system after installation to verify its integrity and proper operation. Ground resistance testing should be performed using appropriate testing equipment to ensure that the grounding system meets the required resistance levels. This testing should be conducted by qualified personnel and documented for future reference. Let's delve deeper into each of these methods, providing more specific details and considerations. Starting with vertical ground rods, the selection of ground rod material is crucial. Copper-clad steel ground rods are a common choice due to their combination of good conductivity and corrosion resistance. The length of the ground rod should be determined based on soil conditions and local code requirements, with longer rods generally providing lower resistance. The driving depth is equally important. The rods should be driven deep enough to reach stable soil moisture levels, which can significantly improve their effectiveness. Spacing between the ground rods should also be carefully considered. While a spacing of 200 feet on center is often cited, the optimal spacing depends on soil resistivity. Closer spacing may be necessary in areas with high resistivity soil. Connections to the ground rods must be made using approved grounding clamps and connectors to ensure a reliable and low resistance connection. Moving on to the concrete conduit with ground cable method, the type of conduit material should be selected based on environmental conditions and local code requirements. PVC conduit is a common choice due to its durability and resistance to corrosion. The size of the conduit should be sufficient to accommodate the 4/0 copper cable and allow for easy installation. The copper cable should be supported within the conduit at regular intervals to prevent sagging and potential damage. Ground rods should be installed within the conduit at strategic locations, typically at intervals of 200 feet or as required by local codes. The connection between the copper cable and the ground rod should be made using approved grounding connectors. Now, considering augered grounding wells, the diameter of the augered hole should be large enough to accommodate the ground rods and allow for proper backfilling with conductive grout. The depth of the hole should extend below the gravel backfill layer to ensure contact with native soil. The type of conductive grout used should be specifically designed for grounding applications and should have low resistivity and good bonding properties. The ground rods should be centered in the holes and the grout should be thoroughly compacted around the rods to ensure good contact. The connection between the ground rods and the ground ring should be made using approved grounding connectors. When it comes to the modification of the foundation by excavating a trench for the ground ring, the width and depth of the trench should be sufficient to accommodate the 4/0 ground ring and the conductive backfill material. The trench should be located below the top 2 feet of gravel backfill to provide protection from surface activities. The conductive backfill material should be thoroughly compacted around the ground ring to ensure good contact with the surrounding soil. The type of conductive backfill material should be selected based on soil conditions and local code requirements. Engineered fill or conductive gravel are common choices. And then there's providing a grounding sleeve in the foundation. The grounding sleeve should be designed to provide adequate protection for the ground ring and to facilitate easy installation and maintenance. The sleeve should be made of a durable, non-conductive material such as PVC or high-density polyethylene. The size of the sleeve should be sufficient to accommodate the 4/0 ground ring and to allow for easy access for inspection and maintenance. The sleeve should be securely anchored to the foundation to prevent movement or displacement. The connection between the ground ring and the vertical grounding system should be made using approved grounding connectors. Remember, compliance with electrical codes is paramount. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides comprehensive guidelines for grounding and bonding. Article 250 covers the general requirements for grounding and bonding, including conductor sizing, electrode types, and installation methods. Specific sections of Article 250 address grounding electrode systems, grounding conductors, and equipment grounding. Local codes may also have additional requirements that must be followed. It is essential to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or inspector to ensure that the grounding system complies with all applicable codes and regulations. Ground testing is a critical step in verifying the effectiveness of a grounding system. Ground resistance testing should be performed using a ground resistance meter or earth tester. This instrument measures the resistance between the grounding electrode and the earth. The measured resistance should be below the maximum value specified by the applicable codes, typically 25 ohms or less. If the measured resistance is too high, additional grounding electrodes may be required to reduce the resistance to an acceptable level. Ground testing should be performed after the grounding system is installed and periodically thereafter to ensure that it continues to function properly. Now let's talk about corrosion control. The gravel backfill can create a corrosive environment for grounding electrodes and conductors. Gravel is porous and can trap moisture, chemicals, and other contaminants that can accelerate corrosion. To mitigate the risk of corrosion, it is important to use corrosion-resistant materials and to take appropriate protective measures. Copper-clad steel ground rods are a good choice for corrosion resistance. The copper cladding provides a protective layer that helps to prevent corrosion of the steel core. Coated copper conductors can also be used to provide corrosion protection. The coating acts as a barrier to prevent moisture and chemicals from coming into contact with the copper conductor. Cathodic protection is another method that can be used to prevent corrosion. Cathodic protection involves applying a small electrical current to the grounding system to counteract the corrosive effects of the environment. Regular inspection and maintenance are essential for ensuring the long-term reliability of a grounding system. Grounding electrodes, conductors, and connections should be inspected periodically for signs of corrosion or damage. Any corroded or damaged components should be replaced immediately. Ground resistance testing should be performed periodically to verify that the grounding system continues to function properly. A well-designed and properly installed grounding system is essential for electrical safety. It provides a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip circuit breakers and prevent electrical shock hazards. A grounding system also helps to stabilize voltage and reduce electrical noise. By carefully considering the factors discussed above, you can ensure that your grounding system is effective, reliable, and safe. So to summarize, when dealing with a structure that has a gravel backfill foundation, several alternative grounding installation methods can be considered. These include vertical ground rods, concrete conduit with ground cable, augered grounding wells, excavating a trench for the ground ring, and providing a grounding sleeve in the foundation. The selection of the appropriate method will depend on the specific site conditions, local code requirements, and budget constraints. Regardless of the method chosen, it is essential to ensure that the grounding system is properly designed, installed, tested, and maintained to provide effective electrical safety. The specific method should be chosen with consideration to factors such as soil resistivity, depth of gravel backfill, and potential for corrosion. It is important to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or inspector to ensure that the grounding system meets all applicable codes and standards. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides comprehensive guidelines for grounding and bonding. Article 250 covers the general requirements for grounding and bonding, including conductor sizing, electrode types, and installation methods. Remember to use corrosion-resistant materials such as copper-clad steel ground rods or coated copper conductors to mitigate the risk of corrosion in the gravel backfill environment. Test the grounding system after installation to verify its integrity and proper operation. Ground resistance testing should be performed using appropriate testing equipment to ensure that the grounding system meets the required resistance levels. And remember that regular inspection and maintenance are essential for ensuring the long-term reliability of a grounding system. Grounding electrodes, conductors, and connections should be inspected periodically for signs of corrosion or damage. In conclusion, grounding systems in areas with gravel backfill require careful consideration and specific installation techniques. By following these guidelines and consulting with qualified professionals, you can ensure a safe and effective grounding system for your structure.